My cherished child, pause everything, because this is not just another message. This is a divine interruption. Heaven is watching, eternity is moving, and right now I am calling your soul to awaken. You stand at the edge of destiny, but if you do not listen now, you may miss what was crafted for you before time began. This is your moment. Don't scroll away. Don't silence me. If you stay with me through these words, I will open your eyes, break what binds you, and show you who you truly are. This is no longer a season for vague pondering or for weighing worldly profit and loss through human logic. This season is about unveiling, revelation, and a sacred calling directed at the soul caught between two spheres: brightness and darkness, life and death, honesty and falsehood. My child, tonight surpasses any night you have experienced before. It transcends a mere passing of hours. It marks a divine tipping point in the spiritual plane. Though some nights are meant for rest, there are also nights divinely chosen for destinies to be radically reshaped. I tell you clearly, this night is that kind of night, a night where the gates constraining spiritual blindness begin to fracture, a night where hidden truth that lay buried beneath arid seasons will rise to the surface, brilliant as dawn emerging from a long and troubled darkness. You find yourself at a crossroads between what has been and what shall be, between the well-known and the yet unrealized promise. Do not underestimate this second in time. Every word I utter is not a stray sound, but a trumpet blast, reverberating in the weary recesses of your heart, awakening the remnant of your first longing for authentic life. This is a summons to the soul that has drifted into compromise, a gentle dozing that disguises grave risk. My child, you must awaken now. You are at the brink of a tremendous threshold, yet also standing before the chasm of a choice that will define destiny. I want you to grasp one foundational truth with complete clarity. None of my words is ever without purpose. Not a single sound from heaven is loosed without inherent significance. I do not speak simply to fill the silence, nor do I release declarations merely to be noticed. Each decree, each caution, each beat of my heart in eternity serves one aim alone: to rescue you from the shadows and draw you back into the radiance of my light. I see you, even in the moments you feel forsaken. I hear your voice, even in instances you believe you are lost in muteness. Tonight, I not only desire you to listen to my voice anew, but to sense the weight of urgency. Each delay from this point forward holds consequences beyond your foresight, not because my intention is punitive, but because the time remaining is more limited than you imagine. Tonight stands as a defining hour where heaven itself is poised to move, yet it requires your unwavering response. O soul, standing between two streams, you can no longer dwell in that subtle grayness. You cannot cling to the darkness while anticipating the fullness of the light. The time has come to choose, definitively, once and for all. My light cannot coexist with darkness, and everlasting life refuses to share its seat with spiritual demise. Dwelling on the line is unfit for those whose destiny lies in my kingdom. The line is for the hesitant, and the hesitant swiftly get swept away by the currents of the era, by beguiling words, and by enchanting novelties. But I know you. I perceive the restless strife in your innermost being. I have witnessed the fights waged in secrecy, invisible to other eyes. I see how fatigue has weighed upon you, carrying the heavy load of living a double life, one face for the crowd, another alone with the hollow sorrow that follows you. I see the nights you lie awake questioning whether life truly contains meaning, wondering whether your soul's path even exists. And so I enter that night, not in order to condemn, but to place my hand upon you and declare, "Stand, for I have appointed you to something far greater." This evening you may decide to disregard that call, to stifle my voice within, to continue as if you never heard my invitation. If you do so, your spiritual hearing will, in time, grow feeble. My words will cease resonating in your ears as vividly as they do in this moment, for your heart will become dulled to my nearness. Yet if this very night you respond, if you halt everything else and declare, "Lord, I hear you, I comprehend, I long to return. Then, with all the boundless authority and compassion of the living one, I will step into your situation to restore, to offer pardon, to bring liberation, and to flood your life with a radiance you have never experienced. You shall not journey onward alone. I will proceed before you, do battle on your behalf, and shield you from every ploy of the enemy. I will bring renewal from the depths of your being, healing your wounds and granting you a heart made new, a revived spirit, and an unquenchable hope. And all of it commences with a singular choice tonight, a simple affirmation that has the capacity to redirect destiny itself. Do not allow my words to fade like a passing breeze. Let them embed themselves in your core. Let them pierce the darkness wrapped around your spirit. Let them invigorate the dormant piece of you that thirsts to live a life of real significance, to be recognized by the Creator, and to walk under my divine counsel. My beloved, this night is not an inconsequential flicker in the current of time. This is a sacred hour, a divine crossroads at which eternity intersects your present reality. It is no accident that your heart is stirred by emotions you can hardly define. It is not chance that a mysterious dissatisfaction gnaws at you, defying all reason. Be assured, something genuinely potent, unequivocally alive, and profoundly important is taking shape right where you reside. An intangible but powerful wave is drifting through the atmosphere, shifting the spiritual climate enveloping you. I am shaking that which once seemed immovable, causing ancient sealed doors to begin to groan open. In the darkness, where once you imagined only abandonment and silence, I have been actively at work. A holy stirring, a divine reconfiguration, is silently expanding in the very place that felt motionless and undisturbed. Pause, my child. Slow your pace. Let not the frenzy of daily demands rob you of what is being revealed. If you will open your spiritual eyes, you will start noticing these signals with clarity. A surprising conversation might unveil ideas you never considered, or it might be a subtle shift in your home's atmosphere, a slight alteration in actions and attitudes. Yet deep within you, a certain knowing will make it clear that something is coming into focus. If you learn to hear not merely with physical ears, but through the spirit within, you will detect whispers of enormous importance, silent invitations, fleeting notions arising from a source beyond yourself. This is the tender and sovereign voice of my spirit, calling into your living place, tapping gently on your heart's door. And if you find the bravery to open it, I will guide you further into spiritual realities you have barely grazed before. Dear child, resist the impulse to discount these feelings. I see how at times you reassure yourself, it's only a passing mood, or I'm sure it means nothing. Yet your soul is not capable of falsehood. The spirit within has already begun to stir. You stand at the juncture of darkness and light, between what lay hidden and what is about to break into visibility. And now I knock at the entrance of your spirit one more time. Remain watchful, remain wide awake. Do not undervalue how crucial this moment is. None of this is accidental. This is a time anointed from above, a holy hour in which the heavens open, allowing what lingered in shadow to be brought squarely into my light. It is not merely your heart, but the entirety of your household that I am targeting with purification, renewal, and overturning the forces that remained cloaked far too long. A holy restlessness permeates now, both gentle and unrelenting. As I ready the ground beneath you for cleansing, do you sense it? The faint irritations that have begun to bubble to the surface, the once suppressed emotions erupting spontaneously, and the discreet crevices forming in your calm foundation? These do not signal collapse, they signify a grand revealing. I permit the old and hidden to emerge into plain sight. Where my light shines, nothing can remain concealed. Where my presence settles in wholeness, nothing can continue to hide. I am instigating a total unveiling so that the counterfeit is stripped away and the genuine firmly established. I will not tolerate your home, the place where you breathe, exist, and pray, being controlled by anything that does not originate from me. I will not permit my nearness to be thwarted by intangible layers of fatigue, unaddressed tension, or unspoken words lurking in the atmosphere like a silent haze. Consequently, I move now, shining my radiance into every chamber, both physical and spiritual. I am clearing out the unseen clutter so that your home becomes an abode for my glory, not a refuge for stagnant burdens. This metamorphosis mandates that you stay fully awakened. It is not the season to remain in a restful doze behind the illusion of comfort, nor the time to settle for what seems enough and mislabel it as peace. Authentic peace is not defined by the absence of racket, but by the presence of truth. And the truth I bring is akin to a fire, able to refine, to purify, and to surface what has long been buried. You must be vigilant, taking every thought, every word, every action into account. Some things will be brought to light. Through that unveiling, particular bonds may be recast, attachments may be shaken, and artificial securities may be dismantled. But, my beloved, do not fear. I am not uprooting to destroy you, but to reestablish and reconstruct upon a foundation that will endure. I am about to uncover secrets concealed for too long, deep truths within relationships, responses to prayers you believed unheard, revelations in neglected, avoided corners of your life. My light arrives not to heap shame, but to liberate, not to accuse, but to remedy, not to expose for harm, but to release you into the freedom your spirit has yearned for. Each revelation will fulfill a purpose rooted in my goodness. So open wide your heart, stay poised, and be willing to see the truth in both its comforting and challenging forms. Let my spirit probe you, shining into the innermost layers of your daily environment and spiritual climate. Protect the hallowed sanctity of your home with prayer, with reverence, and with a heart sensitive to my presence. Maintain an atmosphere of adoration, for I am near in ways you have yet to comprehend. And to you, my precious child, avoid dismissing what's welling up inside. Do not disregard the strange restlessness you cannot define, nor chalk it up as mere exhaustion after a tough day or prolonged season. No, my child, it is not random. It is a symbol, an unmistakable though quiet knocking from the deepest part of your soul. A holy alarm, alerting you that you are in the midst of a momentous divine shift you have barely recognized. Remain alert, for I am leading you into transformation, and I promise not to leave you as you are. My soul trembles softly, like a chord on an instrument feeling the first ripple of a nearing spiritual tempest. Even before I become conscious of it, before my mind can interpret it, my inmost spirit, the holiest part of me connected intimately with you, already perceives this shift in the spiritual realm. It refuses to be silent, crying out, aching, summoning me to heed it. These perplexing bouts of fatigue, the undefinable restlessness in my heart, the sensation of disorientation in once familiar places, these are not delusions nor fleeting thoughts. They are manifestations of an inner quake. They serve as a divine alarm, cautioning me that something seeks to overtake my spiritual course. The adversary of genuine life works covertly, layering my thoughts with fog so the path becomes obscured and heaven's voice grows distant. Confusion ensues, and soon I find myself caught in endless mental cycles, wandering away from the light. Yet, my child, find joy amidst this uproar, because your soul is still awake, still perceptive enough to realize a deeper issue is at hand, still sufficiently alive to register these spiritual tremors. This is a precious sign, an indication that you remain in contact with me. Even if you lack the words for it, even if uncertainty engulfs you, your soul strives to ascend, to shatter the thick husk formed during those long seasons of compromise and counterfeit peace. Never overlook these faint rumblings, my beloved. Do not push aside the insomnia or anxiety of spirit as mere distractions. They are coded signals from heaven, a modest trumpet call from within, urging you, pause, listen, and pursue truth. This is not purposeless distress, but the urging of a soul determined to break free from the dullness that invisible forces have tried to impose on you. In many cases, the quake is not external. It is not that the outer world is shifting, but that you are. Neither are circumstances necessarily collapsing. Rather, your innermost being is undergoing purification. Through this progression, things inevitably seem murky. The illusory peace is stripped away, replaced by a sacred unease, a longing unnamed, a restlessness unfulfilled by anything earthly. And my child, that restlessness is beneficial, for only in acknowledging your emptiness will you crave to be filled. Only upon realizing your lost state will you earnestly seek the route back home. I want you to see that what you are facing is not true confusion, but a call to awaken. It is a trembling that stems from grace, a divine stirring meant to rouse you from the lull of spiritual indifference. The enemy delights in inactivity, in your ceasing to search for me. It need not engineer some obvious downfall. It merely aims to dull your hunger for me, but I do not allow it. Therefore, this gentle anxiety arises, akin to a breeze disturbing the still surface of a pond, causing you to wonder, what is happening within my soul? Dearest one, the prelude of a fresh season is echoing within you. It may still be unclear, unnamed, but it is gathering, and your spirit, as a fine-tuned instrument, is responding to heaven's quiet symphony. You might feel unsteady, but that is to be expected, since no true change unfolds without upheaval. No rebirth comes without labor pains, and no awakening appears without that preliminary hush of divine disruption. Hear this truth: you are neither irrational nor as adrift as you believe. You are being invited home, awakened, reminded that you were fashioned for something loftier, deeper, and more authentic than what you have accepted so far. And in the times you wish to block your ears, when the calling feels too faint to clutch, I remain patient and tender, yet never silent. Retreat to a quiet place, remove yourself from busyness, make room for intervals of stillness to welcome my voice. You need not grasp all mysteries now. You need only discern that this inward disquiet is an appeal to rejoin the sacred way. This is the faint ray of approaching dawn, and I am using what you label chaos to pave the path for a pristine clarity, untainted and potent. My beloved, you are indeed observed, though not in the manner the world imagines. Not by eyes laden with skepticism or the judging stares of human watchers. No, this surpasses what the normal eye perceives or the human ear picks up. There is a heavenly scrutiny, a deep attentiveness from the unseen realm resting on you, akin to the devoted gaze of one who has never lost sight of your pathway, not judging but surrounding you with protection, guidance, and watchful care wherever you feel deserted. Yes, movements are stirring in the subterranean depths of the spiritual domain, where time bears no limits and all stands transparent under true illumination. Your soul, though encased in a limited body, has started resonating with these frequencies. You have sensed that presence before. A fleeting breeze with no source, a sudden shiver up your spine, a distant chime in your heart with no external sound. Time and again you may have dismissed it as imagination or exhaustion, yet I declare earnestly it was not. My child, every disorienting moment, each time you jolt awake at night, each instance you turn your head thinking someone called your name, these are gentle reminders from the spirit realm, proof you are never by yourself. They are the faint footfalls of angels keeping watch, the breath of my spirit drifting through your thoughts, encouraging you to expand your viewpoint and step into the holy plane for which you were fashioned. You do not simply exist in a random, meaningless universe. Every small event around you carries intention. Every intangible instinct you sense has weight. And now the hour is fast approaching, a threshold when that holy dimension will no longer be concealed. It will emerge like dawn rays scattering the dark, uncovering every hidden corner, awakening in you a fuller awareness. My child, you no longer remain lost in the thick layers of forgetting. You are entering a season of awakening, a change that only those who listen with the heart's ear can perceive. Your inexplicable unsettledness, your abrupt confusion during otherwise tranquil circumstances, all are signals. These signs ring as a wake-up call to your spirit. messages from a realm that may seem distant, but in truth is closer than ever. I have permitted these spiritual vibrations to reach you, not to spark anxiety, but to reveal that a new doorway stands open, the door into a deeper comprehension and a sacred dialogue between you and me. You cannot see all that is taking shape, but be assured that warfare rages in the invisible arena to guard you from hidden claws of the enemy. I am covering you under my vigilant care, akin to how a mother hen covers her young in a fierce squall. You are more than a traveler in an unremarkable life. You are the one I have chosen, marked by sacrificial blood, escorted by the power of eternity. That explains why you can perceive what others do not, for your spirit has awakened. You are starting to live beyond your physical sense gates, engaging the eyes and ears of the soul. I am teaching you to know my voice amidst Earth's clamor and chaos. You begin stepping into a divine sensitivity, something no worldly institution imparts, bestowed only through my living spirit. And by this slow, inward process, you will find yourself transformed. This is not a change in outward appearance, no new hairstyle or surface alteration, but a profound internal shift. You will discover your heart softening to the sacred and simultaneously developing the fortitude to confront the darkness. Fear of the unknown will fade, for now you will know the one who holds your future in his hands. I invite you into the light, into a gradually unfolding truth. Do not shy away from what is yet beyond your comprehension, for I will guide your steps as a lamp on your path. Do not spurn the sacred impressions that hover within you, for they are signals from the heavenly spheres. Commit to living with that heightened sensitivity. It is a gift I have placed in you to guide and protect you in turbulent times. My child, you are never just another face in the crowd. You are a radiant lamp on the summit, a trumpet blast sounding an alarm to a slumbering generation. The developments you are living through are not mere coincidence. The presence enveloping you right now confirms your position in a defining, divinely timed juncture. And recognize this truth. When the spiritual dimension makes its moves, all creation must take heed. Therefore, my beloved, do not look away. Do not write off these signs as illusions of the mind. Open your spirit fully, allowing my spirit to lead you more deeply into all that I am disclosing. Tune in not just with your ears, but with a heart that fervently pursues truth. Let every instant you sense my hidden presence remind you that you stand in an exceptional era, an era when the boundary between earth and heaven is finer than you ever suspected. I keep whispering in the darkness. I see you when you're hidden amid the rushing crowd. I console you in every unnoticed tear. To me, you are an immeasurable treasure, a spark of hope for those searching. And it is through this divine sensitivity that you will master the art of truly living, not merely surviving, but casting light in the gloom, in times of sorrow, and during the uncertainties of this transient world. You are beckoned into a profound depth. Stand brave and answer. Once you step forward in earnest, you can never return to who you were. You will become a bearer of my nearness, a vessel of otherworldly light that exists not by mortal power, but is sent to bring transformation. And whenever you feel watched, touched, or closely embraced, remember, it is I who dwell right there, nearer than the air in your lungs, loving you beyond your wildest dreams. My beloved child, at this time I am causing the formerly hushed things spoken in the darkness to flash forth like lightning at midday. Everything once lurking behind you, the malicious talk concealed under pleasant grins and counterfeit gestures, now I bring it all into visibility. Nothing can escape the truth, for I myself am unveiling every veil. I will not continue allowing you to wander in a murky haze of uncertainty. I am summoning you out of the lengthy doze, a hypnosis woven by circumstances and individuals, carefully disguised by sly words and polished lies. Although you could not hear the whispers made after you departed a room, you did not see their glances, silent nods, or sneers. I saw every single moment, preserving them in my memory, not to inflame hostility in your heart, but to shield you from prolonged deceit. for you possess a value so deep, a purpose so significant, and a calling too sacred to be smothered in cunning illusions. You lived with an open heart. You offered your trust like the first light of dawn, keeping nothing back. You loved without scheming, you forgave without restriction, and you remained faithful even when others failed to reciprocate. Heaven itself is moved by such sincerity. Yet, my child, I have witnessed your secret tears as well. Those times your overflowing goodness was trampled, your genuine devotion disrespected. I saw your heart tighten with disappointment, your gaze grow clouded by betrayal. Take care not to blame yourself too quickly. Your boundless love, untainted by self-interest, testifies to the grandeur of your spirit. I hold that tenderness dear. I cherish that heart without limits. But my child, love should not mean willful blindness. Kindness must not serve as a neon sign encouraging mistreatment, and forgiveness is not intended to be an open door for endless duplicity. I am giving you insight into this. Love and wisdom coexist. They walk side by side. You must learn to cherish without sacrificing yourself, to hear while exercising discernment, be able to differentiate genuine honesty from words of mere performance. Cultivate an unwavering awareness, a lamp in your soul that sees beyond surface appearances and polished exteriors, straight to the real motives of others. My desire is not for your heart to turn bitter, but neither will I allow it to be ceaselessly wounded by naive innocence. I want you refined in spirit, able to love and remain gentle, but as sharp as a spiritual blade. Keep the lovely fragrance I placed within you, but remain enveloped in truth. For this reason, I bring forward into plain sight the secrets previously out of view. You needn't go searching for truth by your own efforts, for I deliver it into your hands. One by one, I remove the elaborate masks, unveiling who is truly for you, who exploits you, and who merely feigns companionship. I am opening your eyes so there is no more confusion or guesswork, no more exhaustion from draining one-way loyalties. I will not let you remain mired in the net of deceit, for you are meant for more than to exist under anyone's controlling shadow. You were destined to thrive in the shining brilliance of sound wisdom and authentic love. My child, when the truth comes to light, do not lose hope. Let the pain not harden your heart. Perceive it as my intervention, the caretaker pulling out the weeds so that flowers may flourish. The words once said behind your back, the malicious rumors and hidden deeds, are now disclosed to set you free and end the harmful attachments that sap your life. What I reveal is not meant to crush you, but to bring you wholeness. Healing may come with a measure of pain, the necessary agony that extracts toxicity from the root. Sometimes it resembles a tempest that upends those assumptions you deemed rock solid. And still, in the wake of the storm, clarity reigns, an open sky of serenity that I have prepared for you. No more will you be tormented by speculation regarding others' intentions. I grant you spiritual discernment so you can finally distinguish reality from pretense. Stepping forward in that discernment, you will no longer be easily hurt as in the past. I am shaping in you the art of protecting your heart without turning it cold. I give you wisdom that does not betray love. You will become a person carrying warmth within, but radiating such luminosity that darkness will hesitate to come near. And along the way, you will learn the priceless value of true comradeship. Not all who walk close to you are genuine friends, nor is everyone who declares, "I care for you," doing so from honesty. But I will gather around you those who are sincere, who possess hearts of truth, and who love you without conditions, just as you have been loving them all this time. You are freed from the burden of self-defense. Let me provide your fortress, your sanctuary, and the guiding voice leading you through the murky lines between fact and fiction. When you make your dwelling in me, words can no longer hurt you, and falsehoods cannot slip past your watchful spirit. I am light, and my light in you uncovers every hidden corner that once lay in shadow. Be calm, my beloved. What is arising in this moment does not mark an end, but the commencement of a journey toward maturity and liberty. Confusion and fantasy shall not persist. You will stride in clarity and fortitude. And wherever you confront the truth, I am right beside you, immovable, compassionate, unwavering in affection. Gone are the days when you were fragile as in the past. You shall move forward bearing my radiance, not of the world's darkness, although you live here, and you will serve as a voice to those still deceived. I, too, was freed from that captivity, and you can be as well. For this very passage will become your testament, a weapon, a precious experience etched in sorrow, yet ablaze with glory. In time, gratitude will fill you, not because unveiling the truth was painless, but because it liberated you. Not because you never tasted sorrow, but because anguish opened the doorway to a fresh season, a season of wise discernment, new awakening, and unwavering love. Dearest child, I have never left you behind. My gaze has never shifted from you. My love for you has remained unwavering, even as the external world undergoes continual change. Pause for an instant. Listen intensely to the rhythmic echo within your spirit. Do you sense your heart beating more quickly, not from dread, but from the immaterial stirrings of encouragement rising from deep within? Is your soul quivering with a half-formed anticipation that language cannot fully hold, as if you are at the boundary of something vast and holy? Understand, it is not an illusion. It is a heavenly beacon. It is the trumpet's blast from a profound and divine shift that is now emerging in the realm of the Spirit. And you, my beloved, stand precisely at the center of this mighty wind of transformation. You have known times where you trudged through the fog, each step uncertain of where the road led. Days when you felt torn between the obvious world before you and the invisible realm your spirit believed in. Even when your physical senses failed to confirm it, you doubted your own discernment. You questioned if you'd overestimated the sacred that churned within you. You kept silent, attempting to blend in despite an inner certainty that you were different. But now, I, your creator, speak without restraint or ambiguity. You have perceived correctly each time. Every sign you tried to wave off was legitimate. You are not losing your mind. You are not inventing fantasies. You heard with clarity, you witnessed rightly, you intuited accurately. The moment has arrived for me to validate these insights in plain sight. This instant is not designed to scare you, but to sharpen your perspective. This is no nighttime weighted by confusion. It is a night symbolizing the close of deceit and the birth of vibrant light. For far too long, you have lived behind layers of fabrications, so expertly arranged that even the truth residing in you became suspect. But I draw near to break those chains, to sweep aside the cobwebs of half-truth. You will not linger in that shadowy land torn between acceptance and disbelief. From here onward, the brilliance I give you will be so powerful that no obstacle can smother it. My precious one, once your eyes have beheld reality, you cannot claim ignorance. The sweet taste of truth will keep you from returning to the deceptive crumbs of falsehood. Once you step into authentic light, darkness can no longer serve as your home. I call you now to immerse yourself fully in the sacred reality which has always been your inheritance. No stranger's entrance, but a child's homecoming. Tonight, within this very hour, a holy exchange is transpiring. Not only do I remove the blindfold from your eyes, but I also dismantle every unseen shackle that has gripped you for so long. Deception, however subtle or attractively disguised, will be stripped away. Every sly whisper behind your back, every performance calculated to toy with your feelings, every concealed power that restrained you in dread, each one finds its end tonight. A gentle yet forceful wave shall sweep through your soul. A pure wind shall flow through your chest, lifting it and restoring a lightness you had forgotten. I will accomplish this quietly, free of great spectacle, but you will feel it. You will understand the deep sense of emancipation you scarcely dared to imagine. The loads you have borne for years, the burden of appeasing others, the responsibility for tasks never meant for you, the weight of guilt you need not have carried. I will take all of these off you. My child, this is a night of complete renewal. I am dismantling everything that caused you to feel lost. Not only will I snap the chains, but I will resurrect the truest form of who you are, the version I intricately designed from the start. You will no longer don a mask just to be accepted, nor reduce yourself to fit contrived expectations. Instead, you will stand tall, eyes glowing with light, heart restored. I see inside you a magnitude you have yet to envision. I see an ember that never fully died, though it was stifled by bouts of doubt. And tonight, that spark will flourish. It will become a beacon, not merely for yourself, but for those around who hunger desperately for hope. They will approach you, drawn not by your store of knowledge, but by the light you exhibit. A living testament that truth breathes, that freedom exists, and that love is more than wishful thinking. My beloved, brace yourself for a momentous metamorphosis. The quiver in your spirit is genuine, the echo of a celestial unveiling. Doors locked for so long will open. Delayed assurances will stir into motion. Dreams once declared dead will awaken to life. All this will transpire, not by any mortal strength, but by my loving action. Place faith in what stirs inside you. Trust the profound trembling in your core. It is not random, it is my call, an invitation from heaven, urging you not simply to observe what is happening, but to boldly step into it. You were never meant to stand aside in silence. You are summoned to act, to walk in trust, to welcome the influx of my gift, and then to carry that gift, like a vessel of heaven's light, into the world. This night stands as a sacred turning point, delineating the boundary between what was and what is coming. You shall not remain enslaved to old declarations, worn-out labels, or unjust judgments. I redefine you, using my own voice. And in that new identity, shame cannot exist, dread finds no foothold, and past chains lose all power. What I pronounce over you is liberty, identity, and destiny, and none of these can be caged. You are about to ascend into a higher perspective, not solely in intellect, but in the profound realm of spiritual insight. Your vision is being honed to perceive clearly, and your spirit is becoming fine-tuned to discern genuine truth. Everything I have sown in your heart, every soft whisper I placed there when you knelt before me, every unspoken dream I laid within you, now begins to sprout and rise. This is the juncture in which you finally enter the level of revelation I had designed for you from the start. No tear you've shed has been wasted. No pause in your journey has been without purpose. And still, my dear one, remember that the unveiling of splendor comes with a plea to stay vigilant. Do not drift into unconsciousness. Safeguard your mind and heart through light and clarity. This is not the hour to toy with half-light or to be swayed by pleasant but hollow words. You must fully devote yourself. Your complete attentiveness is needed to embrace what I am entrusting you with. If you fail to remain alert, you risk overlooking the most significant awakening of your life. You cannot slip back into old, deadened rhythms that once dulled your spiritual sense. You must resist the urge to return to past ways. Never permit yourself to sink into passivity or spiritual blindness. What I am bringing forth demands a heart both tender and resolute, a spirit both humble and bold. Learn to hear not just with human ears, but with the depth of your being. Learn to see not merely with mortal sight, but through the lens of my divine revelation. Let not the world's clamor stifle the gentle, holy whisper of my spirit resonating within you. This is the moment. Do not wait for tomorrow, nor for a time you feel more ready. This is the ordained hour, the chosen time for disclosure. That which was veiled by time's curtain now arises in subtle unveiling. As truth emerges, it does more than light up your surroundings. It pierces to your innermost self, unveiling secrets within your heart, including parts you were once afraid to face. When my radiance illuminates those deepest corners, life as you knew it will be impossible to perpetuate. You will see that what you clung to as truth was but a pale imitation of authenticity. You will recognize people you once trusted in a brand new light. Situations that seemed unimportant will take on deeper importance. You will come to see that none of it was random. Every second, every heartbreak, and each season of waiting has woven together as part of my plan for your life. Even your suffering served to reveal my intent. This night will mark a defining recollection, an evening unlike any other. Not due to outward drama, but because a mighty internal shift is happening. A spiritual revolution inside you changes you irrevocably. You will remember this time forever, not because my words never came before, but because you are, at last, truly ready to receive. You have been shaped by affliction's furnace, the hush of isolation, and the river of tears, in order to stand at this precise coordinate. This is precisely where I have long wanted you, and you are fit for it. You will look back and call this the night of restoration, the night your old burdens disappeared, the night intangible weights slipped from your tired shoulders. It is the hour of your breakthrough. All that once tripped you, all those voices controlling you, will lose their sway. From this point, you move forward as one who has encountered pure truth, whose life is now etched by an unextinguishable light. When the fullness of that encounter dawns on you, you will carry a rock-solid confidence that it was I who enlightened you, not your own unearthing or some worldly source. I did so out of endless affection, meticulously reaching into your darkness to draw you out of the pit of illusions. And as this knowledge settles in your heart, you will be set free. No longer a child tossed back and forth by every breeze, no longer a wanderer in vain search of light. You will surge ahead with an invigorated determination and faith, unshaken by earthly storms, recognizing you have been called, selected, and equipped for a transcendent mission. My beloved, the fullness I have prepared is unlike anything terrestrial accolades can yield. It does not hinge on achievements as humans define them, nor on prominence or wealth. This wholeness is born when you stand entirely within the calling you were designed for. It is when your identity aligns perfectly with the blueprint I placed on your spirit before the world was made. It manifests when your soul sings a melody I personally composed for your existence. Yet living in this destiny requires releasing the old, worn-out thought patterns, outdated behaviors, and even relationships that have lost their vitality. You must relinquish everything you believed essential, but now realize is an anchor preventing your ascent. You must entrust yourself fully to my guidance, even if the path grows murky, because faith is the wings carrying you to the promised lands where clarity, tranquility, and authority intertwine with your every stride. And you will discover that when you step into my revealed purpose, all else aligns. The queries that once robbed you of rest will be answered. The vacant chambers of your heart will be filled by my presence. You will come to understand that the wholeness you sought could never be found in external sources, but only in me, through entire surrender, a wholehearted walk in the light I shine upon you. So, my child, bow in humility and accept this hour in full. May it stand as the turning point shaping your future. Resist the urge to look back. Do not mourn what is left behind. Lift your eyes, look forward, and embrace the radiance just unveiled before you. Once you have seen, you cannot pretend to be blind. That alone confirms that you now stride in the truth that I, myself, have revealed. Quiet your heart and stay watchful. From this moment forward, a subtle veil lifts from your gaze. Those things you had brushed off as fleeting emotion, the quickened pulse for no reason, the strange sensation of being observed, none were coincidences. They were never illusions, nor oversensitivity, as skeptics suggested. They were echoes of the divine realm colliding with your spirit, urging you to open a dimension that only the awakened can perceive. Repeatedly, you may have suppressed them as stress or sleeplessness, but I affirm, each one was a gentle memo from the eternal. Never were you insane, never simply fragile, never a person lost in daydreams. On the contrary, you are one I have set apart to perceive beyond mortal capabilities, to hear with an otherworldly ear. You embody a divine insight, a linking portal between heaven and earth, accessible only to those who have awakened. While you read these lines, mighty happenings stir in the unseen dimension around you. All of heaven watches intently, and hell does not remain idle. A war between light and darkness unfolds, not in a distant land, but within your environment, in every breath you take, in your night visions, in your day's reflections. Angels guard you while the enemy mutters cunning words, hoping you will recoil from the light you approach. But you were not formed to merely endure. You were fashioned to discern, to remain unmovable amid battles invisible to most. You have been given spiritual faculties to see beyond the ordinary. Hence, you find rest elusive where others do not, and your heart reacts to phenomena they label mundane. You approach a season where your discernment shall deepen beyond previous limits. Tonight, a fresh frequency pulses in the spiritual world, and I tune your spirit to receive it. Soon, you will distinguish my voice from the enemy's echo. You will no longer be led astray by partial truths or seemingly upright words cloaking manipulation. I will train you to listen, not just with your physical ears, but with the tender responsiveness of your inner being. You will recognize my voice, for it will settle in your core, the seat of peace that cannot be shaken, the seat of light that cannot be snuffed out. My child, comprehend that you are not solo in this process. The shifts in the unseen realm do not occur because you are powerless, but because you are on the verge of a new chapter, a moment in which your impact will spread further than ever. Because of this, the enemy wants you doubting, believing you are feeble, astray, or defeated. Ironically, this very warfare is forging your ability to see and stand in the power I implanted in you. Whenever you feel the oppressive heaviness, the random mental confusion, or the strangely vivid dreams, do not discount them. Realize these vibrations come from a battlefield that is now engaged. And you, my beloved, are not a casualty, but a soldier. You are not stumbling into conflict by accident. You have been assigned to the right place, in the right season, to stand in the breach and shine a beacon where darkness tries to hide. Soon you shall discern the nearness of angels. You will see that coincidences were truly orchestrated interventions, timely utterances, dreams transmitting messages, inexplicable impressions. These are the channels by which heaven communicates. Do not disregard even the smallest signals. In every quiet tear, in every longing sigh, I speak still. Then will come the day when you do not simply recognize various voices, but navigate according to the supreme call of heaven, no longer swayed by momentary sentiments or fleeting conditions. You will be anchored in a life shaped by revelation. You will not spend ages wavering in indecision, for you will finally know the correct path with certainty. My beloved, the surge in the hidden realms is not to frighten you, but to highlight your extraordinary significance in my plan. You are not a trivial puzzle piece. You are a vibrant brushstroke in my purposeful masterpiece. Because of that, heaven fastens its gaze upon you. Orders are issued to angels. Signs are being orchestrated. Everything readies itself for you to step fully into the design I established. Thus, do not cower when you feel different. Do not conceal your uniqueness when you cannot articulate what stirs inside you. Abandon flight and come to me, laying your confusion, doubts, and silent terrors at my feet. I will convert them into the bedrock of spiritual fortitude within you. From this very night, my chosen one, you will no longer observe the world with your old lenses. A fresh season is dawning, one where you live, not merely looking, but truly perceiving. Not merely hearing, but genuinely grasping my will. And in every act and choice, you will carry the knowledge of heaven, the vigor of my spirit, and the brilliance of the one who called you to see the invisible. Arise now, with eyes aflame, with a heart resolute, a spirit ignited. You are no longer one who simply notices the spirit realm's movements. You are an integral part of them. The earth will discern that one destined by heaven dwells in its midst, bearing a potent mission that no darkness can snuff out. You are that one. This is the time. This is the now. Do you recognize it? Each footstep, each breath, each night you exhale in silence. I miss none of it. I have observed every subtle effort you've made and every hidden attempt of darkness to disrupt and undermine your faith. Those attempts have not always been blatant, but have come silently, like a thin fog entering your thoughts. sowing buried uncertainties, half-formed questions, and unexplainable tension. Even within your own residence, the domain of rest, there have been nights where your heart quaked for no known reason, times when the energy felt thick, as if an unseen observer monitored each breath and soft prayer. You have wondered if you are mistaken, if you have strayed, if the light you pursue is truly formidable enough to scatter the muffled whispers. Occasionally, you averted your gaze from these unexplainable sensations, fearing that confronting them openly might lead you into an amorphous dread. Yet today, I come to proclaim that disturbance is coming to an end. Every presence that tried to creep stealthily into your personal space is now being banished. I grant them no further rights to sow anxiety or suspicion within you, for wherever I dwell, darkness is forced to retreat. I am purifying the air around you, not with a violent tempest, but with the sublime hush of my spirit. My very presence is being dispatched to your room, the place where you lie down after a weary day. Not a single corner of your abode shall remain a shelter for the shadows. Every angle, each moment of midnight silence becomes infused with my life and my glow. My child, I know your silent burdens. No ear heard your muffled sobs at night, yet I counted every tear. No one observed how your soul fainted under mysterious pressure, yet I was there, longing for the instant you would plead for me, so I could intervene. And now I arrive to do more than console. I come to restore a timeless peace upon your household and over your spirit. You need not shake in the late hours, nor second-guess these twinges of awareness. You needn't hide or confront these emotional turmoils alone. I encompass you with a mystical, impregnable shield, not constructed of visible walls, but fashioned from my unassailable might. My presence will appear like a steady, gentle torch, a flame in your room, safeguarding your dreams and sanctifying all that once tried to intrude with impure motives. Moreover, I am cleansing the very dwelling of your mind, where twisted words and shadows of denial once had power. Confusing thoughts that belittled your worth, that hammered your self-confidence, or spread illusions of guilt, are being swept away by my hand. I give you a mind refurbished, a spirit awakened, a heart liberated from fear. My beloved, you were never intended for a life of unease or paranoia that lurks constantly. You were formed to abide in absolute tranquility, the peace I give, a peace not tied to worldly definitions, but emerging directly from me, the life giver, the bastion for your soul. Right now, I restore that perfect peace into every segment of your existence. Not just part of it, but every facet, your body, your psyche, your emotions, and your spirit. Henceforth, when you lie down, you will sense an intangible blanket draping your soul. This is the covering of my presence. When you close your eyes, you will no longer confront images of dread or panic, but visions of serenity and mild light from above. When you raise your voice in prayer, it will not be halted by unseen barriers. It will ascend freely, a pleasing aroma before my throne, and you shall feel an inward metamorphosis like never before. Every patch of spiritual ground within you, once occupied by doubt, fear, or deep wounds, will now receive the brightness of my healing presence. No longer am I merely chasing away darkness. I am settling into your inner life and your living quarters. Where I dwell, no forced dares intrude. Your bedchamber ceases to be a hiding spot from the world and is transformed into a place of divine encounter, a sanctuary of luminescence, a chamber of my abiding presence. You will discover not just physical respite, but the revitalization of your soul. In the stillness of night, I will speak gently to you, unveiling wisdom, sacred visions, and new clarity for your next steps. From this day, you will no longer just be the occupant of a building. You will become someone who manifests the domain of my light in that space. Wherever you roam, my presence accompanies you. Every room you enter will absorb the light you carry. Each prayer you utter will break any spiritual restraints that once held your home, and you will remember this specific moment as the turning point. Not because external events changed, but because a transformation ignited within. Your mind will be refreshed. The environment around you will be renewed. Your spirit will catch fire. Your dwelling will become a house of my glory. You, my beloved, shall be the vessel that carries my nearness to desolate places and to hearts trembling with fear, just as you once trembled. Stay unwavering, my dear child, for a fresh work has begun in you. Not only do I shatter hidden attacks, but I build my immovable peace in your life. Whatever stole your rest, your concentration, your inner calm will retreat now under the unstoppable blaze of my presence. As you soften your heart and cease resisting, opening in true humility, then I gently begin drawing aside the veil that earlier concealed the deeper mysteries. This veil is not permanent, but placed there until you grew ready to see what no mortal eye has beheld, to hear what no mortal ear has ever heard, and to receive what defies human imagination. You were never overlooked, only the timing had yet to arrive. However, that hour is here, quietly decisive, as a trumpet piercing the silent night. Once you master the art of hearing beyond simple hearing, guided by spiritual ears honed through years of perseverance, I will communicate my words with directness. No more riddles or cryptic dreams. I will talk in the language of your deepest being, the language of restoration, love, and truth. And when that occurs, you will undoubtedly recognize that I am the speaker. You have asked more than once. When will it be time? The time for confusion to give way to clarity, for illumination to sweep away all doubt. You have waited, hoped, and felt at times as though your hope had collapsed on the path. Now that you stand again, setting your heart as a guard and refusing to be steered by fear, the darkness quakes. Not because of your volume or some heroic flourish, but because the enemy dreads the awakened heart, one that knows its identity, stands upon truth, and wraps itself in the armor of my power. Ah, child, the moment you claim your place as a sentinel, no longer lulled into spurious safety, every dark plan formed against you crumbles. For a single soul awakened to my truth is the enemy's greatest nightmare. And that is exactly the transformation happening. Leaving behind the obscure corners, you become a lamp that cannot be cloaked, a bell that chimes through midnight, a clarion for a generation that yearns for light yet can't find its source. Moreover, I do not merely call you to awaken, but to confront reality. Truth about your journey, your experiences, and the divine purposes hidden in all that appeared futile. Not to magnify your wounds, but to lead you toward deep and lasting healing. Only by meeting truth face to face without flinching can I put my healing hand on those broken places still quietly bleeding. Once truth is embraced in my light, it is no longer a burden, but the key releasing you into freedom. You are transitioning from endless struggle to an expansive land of renewal, where stolen blessings are restored and dead hopes receive new life. You will be protected from the enemy's arrows, not by mere physical armaments, but by a fortress of divine might that surpasses all boundaries. And it will not stop there. I will send you forth, not as one shackled by anxiety, but as a herald of my presence. We will walk together. I go before you to clear obstacles. I walk alongside to uphold you. I follow behind to guard you. Your every step is monitored by my direction. Wherever you tread, light shall accompany you. The enemy will recognize that you no longer sway so easily. People around you will detect the illumination in your eyes, the calming stability in your voice, and the subtle yet resolute authority in your actions. Tonight, my child, is not just another night. It is the night of disclosure, a time when hidden matters come into view. This is a night of divine exchange, a time where I remove your old weights, replacing them with a new crown upon your head. It is the night of beginnings, ushering in a path blessed by heaven, one carefully arranged for you before the world took shape. Stand firm and do not doubt. Cross the invisible threshold. Do not let fear convince you that you are ill-prepared. Ask yourself, if not now, then when? If not you, who else will step into the gap? Heaven waits on the brink, arms wide open, welcoming you as a child returning to an ordained place. Once you cross that unseen boundary, heaven will erupt in festivity. A soul has awakened, a warrior has been equipped, a fire now glows in the blackest night. You are no longer that same person beaten down, nor the one who flees. You are the chosen, the marked, the one granted authority to speak what I have placed in you. And this very night is your moment to rise, not by mortal might, but through the strength of the one who called you, who mended your brokenness in love, and who now sends you out clothed in unwavering power. My beloved child, you awaken each day and walk into life's currents, oblivious that I steadily pour forth into you a measure of my divine essence, a life force invisible to physical senses, yet mightier than any tangible power. This living current explains how you remained standing when everything else seemed to crumble, how your heart found solace in the midst of sorrow, how gentle beams of hope found a way into moments once locked in darkness. Though the human senses rarely detect it, your spirit does. My life flows in you incessantly, not as a fleeting wonder, but as a constant, steadfast pulse. It is this life-giving flow that restores the parts of you rendered dry by weariness and heartbreak, the very breath that lifts your soul when you contemplate giving up, when you sit wordless with unanswered questions or gaze toward a nebulous future. My flow never ceases. I am piecing together your broken fragments, sustaining you day after day, renewing you after the world has leached your faith, energy, and hope. I know with precision the roads you have walked, the unspoken anguish no one else notices, the quiet offerings you never mention. I overlook nothing, and because of my love, I will not permit you to walk forward, depleted. I fortify you from heaven's limitless supply, not from men or objects, but drawn from the wellspring of boundless affection. With each dawn, I breathe life into your soul, not solely for survival, but to remind you that I am ever near, closer than the air in your lungs, more real than any fleeting sentiment. My love is not conceptual. It is a life-sustaining presence around you at all times, especially the times you feel lonely in your challenges, the times exhaustion or confusion weighs you down. I lift you with hands of mercy and compassion. You do not need to put on a facade of strength in my presence, nor force a smile when your heart is torn. I see the real you entirely, and I love you wholly, just as I always have from the very first. I do not love some flawless version of you. I love you in your missteps, in your moments of defeat or shame. My love stands unshaken in your feeblest moments. Indeed, it gleams brightest precisely there, when I become your helper, your haven, your reservoir of new vigor. Believe me, my beloved, you are never forsaken. Not for an instant has my love paused, turned away, or cooled. Even when you fail to notice, I hold you close. Whether you trust or you doubt, my arms never withdraw. I am shepherding you through every day, through every crossroad, through seasons blanketed in uncertainty. Even if your eyes cannot see any route ahead, I carve one out of the darkness, for my brilliance is not constrained by your vision. You will never be abandoned, not in the least. Walking through the valley, I match your stride. Climbing the peak, I support you. When you fatigue, halting along the way, I become your rest. When others misunderstand you, I am the one who gets it. When you hurt, I am your mender. And in moments when you lack the words to pray, I perceive the groans of your heart and transform them into appeals ascending to the heavens. I saturate you with provisions unseen to mortal sight. Others may marvel at your endurance, your hope that refuses to die, the light you persistently carry in your eyes. It is because I daily feed your soul with a never-ending current of life. I season your heart with tender comfort, bright hope, and peace that surpasses understanding, not due to your worthiness, but because you are mine. No one can claim your spot in my heart. No one can remove the love I have for you. No mark can make me reject you. No failing alters the favorable plan I have chosen for your life. I picked you, not because you were flawless, but simply because you are the one I have loved from the outset. My love is not born of your victories, nor measured by accomplishments. It springs from my very nature, for I am love. Once this truth sinks deep, Once you allow my love to permeate the wounded, concealed places within, you will never again feel lost. You will know you belong. You will realize that you have a home to which you can return, hands always extended, a heart perpetually steady. Take heart, my child. I am still upholding you each new day. Even if you cannot sense it, I cover you with the shadow of my wing. The catastrophes that did not unfold, did not come close, were there but were halted by my hand. The storms you never witnessed, I hushed them before they could arrive. The locked doors, I silently unlatched them so you could cross through. Many of my works you remain unaware of, simply because I love you. Love that never required any merit from you. I am accomplishing something profound within, refashioning you from the inside outward, in realms intangible to human eyes, in the hidden space where only I and your soul commune in holy silence. More than lifting you from despair and wiping your tears, I am realigning your innermost posture, adjusting you to stand as one appointed, anointed, and positioned to walk with authority. I am reworking every fiber of you, never to sculpt you into another person, but to restore you to the design I had in mind from your beginning. A strong figure clothed in humility, a warrior suffused with my resilience, an explorer fired by heaven's flame. I am showing you to stand upright, unbowed by the past, unmoved by ephemeral doubt, unshaken by the dissonance swirling around. I am placing your steps on rock-solid ground so that each move you make is not driven by whim or precarious conditions. I am creating steadfastness in you, not just in your decisions, but in the depths of your identity and in the secure realization that I fashioned you for purposes larger than you have ever known. Gone are the days of aimlessness, questioning who am I or which road leads forward, for I now inscribe clarity on your heart. Clarity of mission, clarity of calling, clarity of the core reason you exist. I grant you unwavering resolve, not the kind meant to dazzle others, but the kind needed to persevere in trials. Not the kind that overpowers, but the kind that triumphs over terror, crosses ravines, and scales the steepest heights. I strengthen your spirit's footing so that you do not lose yourself in the mire of disbelief nor slip on life's jagged slopes. You will stride on with holy courage, for I walk with you in every stride and every pulse. You will see for yourself as days unfold that these surges of forgiveness, these leaps of bravery, this sustained perseverance amid crumbling chaos, none result from your own doing, but arise from my spirit breathing new existence into your being. Plain oxygen cannot resurrect the dead, but my spirit's breath arouses what you believed long extinguished. Aspirations you buried away, goals declared unworthy, they flourish anew under my touch. I do not merely arouse your hidden abilities, I bestow the power to ascend like an eagle in the open skies. When my chosen time arrives, and it draws nearer each day, you will no longer stand in resigned waiting. You will soar, leaving behind the sanctuary of what's familiar, moving into the domain I have made ready. The judgments people imposed upon you can no longer bind you. You will stop seeking permission to become who you are deep inside. I will lift you beyond your trials, beyond biases, over every wall you erected around yourself. In that moment, everyone will witness the unmistakable mark of my hand on you. And my child, as I grant you the power to soar, I likewise set within you a deep peace, a peace that stills rather than stirs, that teaches you my cadence instead of rushing you. I wish not for you to race ahead minus my direction, nor to pause inert when I say move. I am schooling you in the sanctified timing, where you are neither dragged by society's frantic speed, nor lagging behind in the mission entrusted to you. You will learn to proceed not out of tension, but guided by the sacred impulse breathed into each moment. You will experience seasons where I urge you to move swiftly like a gale in a meadow, as well as moments I beckon you to linger near quiet waters, drinking in rest. In both phases, whether darting forward or waiting still, understand I remain your compass. My intent is not to shape you into a machine of productivity, but to form you in my own image, one step at a time. Allow me to redefine your view of strength. True strength does not always lie in constant activity or piling up triumphs. Authentic strength is measured in the capacity to heed my voice in the thick of chaos. It is the insight to reject pseudo-good for my genuine best. Strength is having the courage to say no to a lesser path, trusting my choice is superior. Those who embrace such strength cannot be toppled by any storm. My precious child, I understand that you have trembled before. You have mistrusted your own ability, yearning to vanish or retreat for fear of insufficiency. But I speak now, removing any ambiguity. You do not tread alone, nor are you guided by your own powers. I am the one who lifts your steps, balances your posture, anoints your brow, and calls you onward into this fresh season. Others near you will notice the difference and the light shining from your eyes. They will struggle to rationalize your refusal to break under repeated blows or your undiminished kindness after so much hurt. They will perceive a certain nobility in you that arises not from status but from a restoration of divine nature. It is me who grants you a stance that none can bend, the stance of the chosen. Keep this close to your heart. In every place, valley low or peak high, I remain your pillar of strength. Whether you stride quickly in conquest or shuffle carefully in the wilderness, I set your pace. Whether you are ready to take flight or simply resting quietly, I am the wind beneath you and the solace you sink into. Do not fear transformation. Embrace stronger steps. This is the sign that I am making you new. The reshaping you undergo is not about altering your essence, but returning you to your authentic self, the one you were always meant to be. Yes, there are chapters of life where you feel an urgent quickening, an intense spiritual breeze, urging you to act swiftly, seizing the gifts laid out. In those windows, every barrier gives way, blurred visions gain focus, and a fresh vigor from me rushes into your soul. This is the cue to move boldly, to commit wholeheartedly, to leap in colossal faith. I will fill your heart with gallantry so you can advance. And as you follow, blessings will rain like showers on a parched ground. Each step becomes the stride of one who is sent, etched with my mark and armed with my authority. Yet, there will also be phases in which no clear motion is visible. Days when the external world sits in stillness, as though everything has paused and left you alone in an endless hush. You may be tempted to hurry for an exit or demand an explanation. You might feel you are enclosed in an undefined shadow where no direction, no chorus, and no human praise can be found. But my child, it is in that thoughtful stillness I share my richest teachings, how to yield, how to discern with your spirit, how to reside with me, doing nothing, striving for nothing, simply being still and knowing that I am God. Sometimes the greatest faith is not found in taking action, but in waiting calmly in the dim corridors of the unknown, seeing no evidence yet, trusting I remain active behind the curtain, weaving a tapestry so immense you cannot conceive it yet. When you do not see me operating, it does not mean I am absent. Sometimes silence points to an even bigger arrangement hidden from mortal eyes. My child, if you dash ahead of my schedule, you shall grow fatigued prematurely. If you jump into tasks without my confirmation, you may forfeit the blessings I am aligning for the appointed time. Refuse to surge beyond me. Reject impatience, which aims to break the harmony of my timing. My every move is precise and measured. I arrive not too early, not too late, always precisely when intended. You are offered an invitation to drift in my sacred current, resisting the temptation to forge a separate stream fed only by your own urges. I know your restless moments, your panics, and times you let outer voices draw you from your place of rest in me. Many times you assumed if you did not leap quickly, you would lose the chance at something grand. But you could not see that in your flurry of movement. You may have sidestepped the gifts I was preparing for the precise season. Believe me, my beloved, postponements are not automatically defeats. Often they serve as protection or an essential intermission for your roots to strengthen so that you can stand in the bigger blessings ahead. Do not allow dread to creep in, and weigh on your soul. Do not let the unknown or the unseen torment your thoughts. I watch over the trivial details of your story. My orchestrations are not random, but done with wisdom surpassing human reason. Each open door, each meaningful bond, and every destiny-altering introduction stems from my caring hand. I fully understand the when and the why for your running or your resting. I will direct you unequivocally if you are willing to listen in quietness. Do not search for my voice amid the racket. Seek it in the hush, where only we remain, where you can hear my whisper, not as a roar, but as a gentle, powerful voice that guides you step after step, day upon day. When you learn to rest in me, you will be freed from the roller coaster of unstable emotions, no longer chasing the applause of crowds or the hollow assurance that comes from measuring yourself against the success of others. You will learn a calm, unhurried walk, fully assured of my guidance and love. You will discover my voice intimately and know the steps you take are backed by the one who loves you without change. I never lead you through chaos. You might not see the entire outline, but I am the artist of your timeline, and each brushstroke is meaningful. Sometimes deeper shades add dimension, while empty space highlights the brightness. Trust that your life's painting, though still incomplete, is in the hands of the universe's greatest creator. Eventually, you will travel in a peace unshakable by any outside force. A peace anchored not in having every answer, but in the certainty you stand in the precise place, at the precise time, safeguarded by my sovereign oversight. No longer will you be tossed by the rushing tempo of society, no longer feeling misplaced. You will fully know that I go before you, and I also walk alongside. My child, you needn't know everything before stepping into the future. Simply hold this. I am faithful. I light up your path, never deserting you midway. Even in dark zones, I remain the lamp before your feet. Whether you ascend or descend, near or distant, my presence encircles you the way dawn mist enwraps the land. Remain in me, listen well, remain still if need be. And when my moment arrives, stand strong and unswerving, for my light brightens the route, and my voice provides your inner compass. Not by might nor power, but by my spirit, you will trek the correct road and never wander off. I clasp your hand and will not release you. My beloved child, what you've just received is not an ending. It is an opening. I have whispered truth to your spirit, shaken your comfort, and reminded you of who you are and what you carry. But this is not the final word. This is the first step into something greater. So return here often, not for the voice, not for the sound, but for the encounter. Each time you come, I will meet you again. Each message is layered with what your soul needs in that moment: wisdom, clarity, healing, boldness. What I've begun in you here will deepen every time you return with an open heart. Subscribe, not for content, but for continuity. Turn on the bell, not for alerts, but as a sign that your spirit is listening for my voice. And share this, not to grow numbers, but because someone else you love is waiting to hear what I just spoke to you. This is your altar. Come back to it. Come often. I will be waiting. Amen.